Peace and love, and welcome to Black Diamond Worldwide Outreach. Today, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, which we are celebrating here in the United States on Thursday, I wanted to talk a little bit about harvest, the gathering together of all that we have, all that we've accumulated, all that we see in the world into something great and wonderful. I love this time of year because everyone thinks about how thankful they are, even if it's just that second that they sit at the dinner table with their family, going around the table and saying what they're thankful for, what they, acknowledge in their lives and are thankful for that thing. So I think it's just a wonderful time of year because there's always times in our lives where we must stop to just say thank you. Thank you to the atoms of the universe for corresponding to our desire. Thank you for the people in our world. Thank you for every good and perfect thing. As one of my favorite harvest songs says, all good gifts around us are sent from heaven above. So let's thank the Lord for all of God's love, God's bounty, and God's perfection. So would you affirm with me this morning, fist in the air, top of your lungs, with all the thankfulness and gratefulness in your heart, in your mind, in your body. Say with me, I am thankful for all I have. I am thankful for all I have. I am thankful for my life. I am thankful for my body. I am thankful for my relationships. I am thankful for my world. How wonderful are these affirmations? Not only can we say it during Thanksgiving Day when we see a feast in front of us, but we can say this every day of our lives. Now, the history of Thanksgiving is not lost on me. We know about the Pilgrims and the indigenous people and that history of the first Thanksgiving and the massacre and everything that followed. But still, we must remain faithful in ourselves. We must remain faithful in our God, that even though this story exists as far as America goes, we can still have this day where we can sit back and say, I am thankful for everything in my world. We must stop to examine all the things we are thankful for. First of all, being alive is a very good start. Once we realize, because there's so many people that say, yeah, I'm alive, that's good, but I have a pain here, I'm not where I want to be, I don't have money in my bank account. But we must remember, just as I always remember Matthew chapter 6, I want to say around verse 25, it reminds us that the body is more than the clothes, right? So we must thank God that we have this body in this moment, in this existence, living in 2021, expecting joy for 2022, and know that we must be thankful for just that. There is blood coursing through our body. Be thankful. There is a body for blood to course through. Be thankful. Be thankful for all you have. So say with me, just put one fist in the air and say, I am thankful I am alive. Why don't you also touch your body? Pinch yourself just to make sure, they say when you're having a bad dream, pinch yourself to wake yourself up. Maybe we got to wake ourselves up. Maybe we have to wake our mind up to say, you know what? I am still alive. I have been given another day to be successful, to be the best, to be what God needs me to be in this world, to be the manifestation that I need to be in this world. And so it comes to harvest. Now, harvest, Oxford defines harvest as the process or period of gathering in crops, right? So churches all over the country, I don't know if all over the world celebrates harvest the same day that we do, or the same time that we do in America. But I know that in America, when they have the harvest service, the parishioners or the congregation bring in fruits and apples and oranges and all types of stuff. People break bread and different types of meat and share that with one another in just a sign of pure solidarity, in communion with one another. And so, but harvest, when people think of harvest, they think of prosperity, right? You know, everything must be prosperous. But when we realize that harvest is not about prosperity, it is, as again defined, as the process or period of gathering in crops. So it means then that seeds have been planted, right? Seeds have been planted. The question is, how are they growing? What is the product of the seeds that we have planted when we take it away from nature and focus in on the harvest, the things we are harvesting for ourselves, for our mind, for our consciousness? We have to ask ourselves, what seeds have been planted? Right? Seeds of doubt, seeds of worry, seeds of misinformation, seeds of dishonesty, seeds of fear, seeds of doubt, seeds of neglect. The words that we're putting out into the universe, the thoughts that we're thinking into the universe, the actions that we're giving to the universe are all seeds that we are planting in the world. The question is, what will the harvest be? I am reminded of our scripture reading where it talks about Jesus was giving a parable about the seeds. Some fell on the roadside and just died. Had nothing and no place else to go. Some fell on stony ground where there was not much soil, not much of a foundation. And so it grew, but not too much. Some grew among thorns. And what happened when the plant started to grow? The thorns choked those plants out, and some grew on good soil. Now, we must remember that our mind is the soil of our lives, and the world is the soil of our world, right? So as we're speaking these words from our mind, from the soil of our mind, it's being planted in the atoms and the soil of our world and expresses out into our world. The question is, are your seeds just falling by the wayside, never to be picked up again? You're just saying what you think that you need to say. You're saying what you think people want to hear from you, right? And nothing is really growing. Are you planting seeds on stony ground where you don't have a foundation? You know, it's not just about a religion. It's about spirituality. It's about coming to yourself, coming to your own, right? And if you don't have that deeper power, the first disappointment, the first angering thought that comes in, since there is no root, since you are not grounded in anything, it takes you away from your goal. But there are some seeds that do grow, but because of your environment, they are stifled, they are choked. Those are the seeds that grow among the thorns, right? In order for you to get to one place in your life, you have to realize that you have to surround yourself with the people, places, and things that will bring that desire into your life. And then, of course, the seeds that we plant into the good soil, into our mind, into the earth, into the elements, into the atoms of the universe. There are so many factors that come in to the harvest. It's about fertilizer for the farmers that are out there. Do they have the right fertilizer? I think about my garden. Not only were the bugs in New Jersey eating my crops, but also I noticed that the soil that I was using was infected, so nothing could grow. You know, so it's about the fertilizer. It's about what you're planting it in. We plant not knowing what we'll harvest. But as you give your dreams, as you give these seeds that you're planting into the universe the right attention, I know for sure that it will grow into something, into a harvest that you can be proud of. But you have to trust the process. You have to trust the process. You have to trust the timing of your life. You have to believe that you are in the right time, in the right place, and you will achieve the right goals. You will meet the right people. You will be involved in the right situation. But it's all about the seed that you are planting. We are in the third week of our Christmas, our holiday shopping. I can't get Christmas out of my mouth. You know, for all those who don't celebrate, listen, I do. We have to give some leeway for that, right? But it's our holiday shopping list. Are you writing down your desires? Whether it's, again, from a pin to an airplane, whatever you desire, are you writing that stuff down? We must realize that everything that we say from our mouths, every thought that we think is a seed that we are planting, and seeds are like gossip. I remember hearing a story about a woman that was out gossiping about her neighbor's business. As you know, we all know, right? That's why we watch Wendy. That's why the gossip columns and Page 6 is so popular, because as much as some of us are disgusted by it, we still want to know, like, ooh, what are they doing, you know? But we must remember that both gossips and seeds are like the same thing. So there was a woman who was gossiping about her neighbors and everything else, right? And she felt so guilty about this that she went to her priest. And the priest said, okay, go home, get a pillow. This is back in the day when the pillows had actual feathers in them. Go to your house, get a pillow with the feathers, rip the pillow up, and let the feathers fly, and then come back to me. And so she went on her roof, cut open a pillow, and all the, those little feathers that are in the pillow, they just flew. It was a windy day, so they just flew all around. And she went back to the priest. She said, Father, what was this all about? I went out, I did that, and the feathers went flying. What was I supposed to learn from that? He said, nothing. But here's what you're going to do. You're going to go back, and you're going to pick up each and every feather that flew away. She said, that is impossible. I can't possibly even know which direction they went. How would I even know what the feathers were? And he said, that's what gossip is. It's letting feathers fly, and we don't know where they're going to go. That's what your seeds are. Your word is. It's coming out of your mind, coming out of yourself. But you don't know where they're going. They're attaching to the universe. Look how many billions of miles there are just in our world. Our word is stretching far beyond that. It's picking up energies in the world. So the question is, what energy are you sending out first word? Just like the bees, how they go to different flowers and pollinate and spread things all around. That is what our seeds are doing. Sometimes things get away from us. Sometimes words get away. Sometimes emotions, right? Those feelings that we have in the moment, that the passion that comes up, sometimes that gets away from us. So we must always remember the process of the seeds that are being planted and the timing of the seeds that are being planted. You want to put out good so that nothing but good comes back to you. Trust the process. Trust the timing in your life. Trust that when things happen, you will know the right words to speak. You will know the correct places to go. You will interact with the people that will take you to a higher and better plane. Affirm with me, I trust the process. I trust the timing. Let's talk about process or process. Wherever you are in the world, you may say it differently. You may say it just like me, but you know what I'm talking about, right? Process, process, whatever. Now, Webster defines a process as a natural phenomenon marked by gradual changes that lead toward a particular result. A natural phenomena marked by gradual changes, right? The thing is that we can vision, but only the future holds experience, right? We can vision, we can have our Christmas shopping list, and we can, have a vision for a new job, or, whatever the case may be, have the grace of the all-universal force for the future, but only the future knows the experience. The future holds experience. But will you stick with it, or will you give up? Again, when things come and hit us, when we feel like we are doing something great and wonderful, and nothing seems to work in our favor, it seems like the entire world is against us, will you trust the process? Will you trust that the pain and the anguish, the doubt and the fear are all the thing, whatever you're feeling, whatever negation you're feeling, will you trust? That all those things are building your character, building your spirit, building your soul, so that when you arrive at your dream, you have such a strong spirit. You have the science of experience, not just experience or hearing someone else. No, you now have the science of experience. You know the ins and outs. You know the feelings that you want to have, what you don't want to have. You know the things that need to be done in your world. So, will you stick with it or will you give up? When I think about the planting of the seeds, right? Different seeds are planted at different times of the year. How do they know that? Who studied that? Now it's even so that there's an almanac that has been used for centuries. I just saw the almanac for 2022, right? It's a process that has been researched through theory, through trial and error. And someone said, okay, these particular seeds need to be planted in this time of year, in this weather, on this phase of the earth. But it was all trial and error. As we make kind of the almanac for our lives, we must know that it is trial and error, and we may not get it on the first trial, and there may be many errors. Always remember, you have a force behind you. You have an all-universal force behind you that will work through the process, that will give you what you need, that will give you the peace, the love, the joy, that will give you the accomplishment that you are seeking. But you're going to have to do some trial and error, right? You know, I just give you the basic things, center yourself, pray with yourself, meditate on your dreams and the things that you want to do. But you have to see the process that you have to take in your world. You have to see what needs to be done. It's impossible to know the process, even in the training, right? You can be trained for anything that you want to do. When I think about doctors, they go to how many years of, I was going to call it doctor school, but that seemed too basic. Medical school. Sometimes words escape us, whatever. They go through all these years of medical school, but they still need on-the-job training before they can even be considered an attendee or whatever they call it, when they're permanently in the hospital, when they are trusted to make decisions by themselves, right? But even in different classes, with all the training that you have, the on-the-job training can sometimes throw everything that you learned out the window. Friends, we must leave space for nuances in our experience. We can go through the same situation, be raised in the same place, have the same parents, have the same opportunities in the world, but we all experience things differently. And because of our past, and because of what we desire in the future, we must leave nuances. We must leave space for the nuances in the world. Not everyone's experience is going to be the same, right? As you meditate and center yourself, you're going to get the answer that you need, but it's going to be different from others' answers and others' way of life. But you have to trust the process. Fist in the air, affirm with me. I love the process. I love the process. And when we think about the legal process, especially in this country, when we look at the verdict that came down the other day in Kenosha, I think Wisconsin, right? We see this teenage vigilante that decided that he would leave his home, get an illegal gun, go to another state to protect a dealership, right? Because cars are more important than people for some of our human beings. And then he said that he was licensed to help people. Like he was an EMT. We find out that he was just a lifeguard. So there was no reason for him to be there anyway, unless I missed the pool or the ocean in the middle of Kenosha, right? And then we see the judge and how he was so lovey-dovey with this murderer. And then the verdict, not guilty. So many people, white, black, from all races, they see the humanity or the lack thereof in what this boy did and are upset now because it gives, especially in this country where the FBI has told us that those particular kinds of people, right, the white supremacist natured people are the number one threat to this country, right? So that could explain why the people were running away from him or trying to stop him. But, you know, when we look at this, we say, oh God, here we go with America again. What are we to do from this? Well, here's what we can do. We can demand change. We can, first of all, increase the love we have in us. It's easy to sit down and throw your hands up and say, oh, America, the white supremacist nation, America. We know what America is. It's not the first time it's happened, but we must make it the last. We must be so strong of spirit. We must be so involved in our country, in our laws, in our justice, that we will make sure that that never happens again. That we protest the right things. That we bring ourselves into the right moments of life. That we look at the past with all of its racist history and decide to love one another right here and right now. Let's make that the last disappointment that we will ever face. Let's make sure that because you know, once these things come up, some people say, oh, we need to be more in the justice system. Oh, we need to, you know, there's always a micro and a macro idea, right? Small little things that we can do, but also the bigger picture. So there's always this juxtaposition of what should we do first? First of all, we can do it all. There's a lot of work to do, but we can do it all. We can trust the process of justice because we will understand the process of justice. We'll be able to write the laws for ourselves and our people as a nation. So, anyone out there, it's a discouraging verdict, but don't be discouraged. God is in control, which means you are in control. What will you do from this moment? How will you become more involved? How will you share love in your world? We have to trust the timing, not only the process, but the timing. I know in America it seems like it's too much time, right? Too much time has lapsed before we get to something great, but we must still trust it. We must still trust that everything will work for our highest good. But again, we have to put ourselves in that purpose. We have to find ourselves in that world where we understand what's going on. We understand the justice system. We work with the justice system, and we have different people, not just one set of people making laws and controlling the world. It is each and every one of our responsibility to make a change in America and in the world. This is the timing of our lives now. This is the period that we're in. Thank God we are not in the period of African-American ancestors who were beaten and I mean, still being done, right? But it was so much worse back then, lynched for no reason. Just because they felt like rounding up a group of black people and lynching them. Now is a different time. But the thing is, will we make the decision to see the good in America? And it starts with us being the good in America, demanding that in this time, in this moment, in this period of our lives, there will be a change in the world. So, as we do this now, not only for our country, but for ourselves, seeing the change that we want to be in the world, don't get discouraged in timetables and schedules, when this should happen, why this should happen. Don't get discouraged by comparing yourself to other people. Well, we're the same age, we graduated from the same school. How come they are more successful than I am? How come, all these things, we must live in this time period. Affirm with me, I love this time in my life. I love this time in my life. Friends, demand the harvest that you desire. As we talk about our country, as we come together as a people, right? We must demand the outcome that we want to happen in our lives. We must command the harvest that we desire. I remember one of my favorite songs, The Impossible Dream. One of the lyrics say, to be willing to march into hell for that heavenly cause. And sometimes in America, it feels like we're marching into hell. But guess what? You have the armor of self-confidence. And if you don't put on the armor of self-confidence, you are a child of the all-universal force. That should be all you know. There should be nothing in this world that can knock you off of the confidence you have within yourself. Not only are you confident, but there is sustainability. There is sustainability. In other words, you come with the confidence, nothing can knock you off, nothing can bring you to being not confident about yourself. You will always have that strength, that power, that life within you. So put your fist in the air and affirm, I have the armor of self-confidence. I have the armor of self-confidence. And I demand my good. I demand my good. Friends, the last point I want to leave with you. Always remember that your sight is limited, but let faith in yourself be strong. Your sight is limited, right? So again, the things that, you're planting the seed, we must know that you're not going to always see the growth of the seed. Just like you plant outside, right? And you don't see it until it starts to spurt up, until you see little inklings of the growth. Those are the seeds that we have planted in the universe. I'm always reminded of 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 12. The Amplified Version says, for now we are looking in a mirror that only gives a dimmed and blurred reflection of reality, as in a riddle or an enigma. We know in part, and so we prophesy in part, right? We only know what we know right now, and we can only give advice, we can only move to the next step from where we are. But life sometimes is a riddle, it's an enigma. It's something that we might not really see for ourselves or know where it is going, but again, trust the process, trust the timing, trust that the all-universal force has put you in this moment, in this time, in this existence to exist prosperously. And as you do, as you realize that you are strong in the faith in yourself, the harvest that you will reap will be a beneficial one. It will be a fulfilling one. Again, not every harvest is for our highest good, but as we plant the right seeds, as we nurture those seeds the right way, as we see them, again, get back to that holiday shopping list, as we see them manifesting in a good way, we can say, with fists in the air, affirm with me, I am strong in my faith. I am strong in my faith and rich in my harvest. One more time. I am strong in my faith and rich in my harvest. Friends, I see this for you. As you go into this Thanksgiving week, you see all the things around you that you are thankful for. Your life, your body, yourself. Be thankful for it and bless your name. Know that you are always fulfilled. And every seed that you have put into your mind, every seed that you have planted in the earth, it will flourish in a great and powerful way, not only today, but all days to come. Happy Thanksgiving. I love you. Be blessed.